If you are struggling to sell AI automation services and wondering why prospects are not buying, you are making the same mistake that 95% of automation agencies are making. You are selling solutions instead of selling problems. And today, I am going to show you why this approach is killing your conversion rates and reveal the exact framework that I use to consistently close 20K plus AI automation deals. And this is the same system that helped me build a 7-figure automation agency. Now, I've been running this business for nearly 2 years now, and I made so many mistakes early on that cost me thousands of dollars and months of wasted time. I wish at the beginning of things, I had a proper roadmap, just like what I'm about to share with you. We are now generating over 20K per month. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to position your AI services in a way that is going to make prospects feel like they cannot live without them. So here is what most AI automation consultants do wrong. They are showing up to sales calls talking about AI solutions or workflow automation and digital transformation. They're leading with tools like N8N, Make.com, Zapier. And they are saying things like, we can automate your business processes with AI, or our chatbots will revolutionize your customer service. Does that sound familiar? Well, this is exactly why your prospects are not buying. You are solving problems that they don't even know that they have, using language that they do not understand, and also leading with features instead of any outcomes. It's just like a doctor prescribing medicine before diagnosing the problem. Now, your prospects, they do not care about your tools or how smart your AI workflows are or what they look like. They care about one thing in particular. Will this actually solve a specific business problem that's keeping them up at night? And when you lead with AI and automation, you're basically just forcing them to imagine how it helps their business. Now, when you lead with their problem instead, they're already sold before you even mention AI. Now, every single business has what I call a business value chain. And this is the sequence of activities that they do to acquire and serve and retain different customers. Now, if you understand this chain, you'll never struggle to find automation opportunities or any opportunities again. So here's how it works. From the moment a business tries to attract a customer to the point where they deliver value and get paid, they are going through a series of different steps. So for example, if you're looking at a real estate agency, here's the typical process for them. 1, generating leads through marketing. 2 is qualifying those leads to see if they are actually serious buyers. Number 3 is to schedule and conduct property showings. And 4 is to handle negotiations and also paperwork. 5 is coordinating inspections and closing processes, leading us to 6, which is just following up for referrals and repeat business. Now, each step in this process is an opportunity to create massive value with automation. But here's the thing. You do not automate for the sake of automation. You instead identify where the business is bleeding time, where they are bleeding money or bleeding opportunities. Now, maybe their lead qualification process is so manual that good prospects slip through the cracks, or maybe their follow-up system is so inconsistent that they are losing referrals. Maybe their scheduling process is just so clunky that prospects book with competitors instead. And that is where you come in instead. Okay, now before I show you how to find real opportunities, let me warn you about the mistake that kills 99% of AI automation businesses. And that's most people start learning AI tools first. They're mastering N8N, Make.com, or whatever platform. And then they're asking, okay, who wants this? And this is completely backwards and creates a low-paying job, not a business. So here's why this approach often fails. AI integration has become commoditized. People on Fiverr will build basic automations for $25 to $44. And each client, they need completely custom work. So you're stuck recreating everything from scratch every single time. You're never building anything that's going to be scalable. And the right approach, it flips this completely. First, you need to find a profitable market. Second, you need to identify their biggest growth problems. And then leading me to third, building AI systems to solve that specific problem. Fourth is to create a productized system and the same solution for all clients in that market as well. And this is how you build a real business instead of just buying yourself a job. Now, let me show you how to find these profitable markets and revenue bottlenecks. So the key is really asking the right discovery questions to uncover where businesses are actually bleeding money or missing opportunities. Now, here are these specific questions that are going to reveal million-dollar opportunities for you. What is going to eat up most of your time but doesn't move the needle? Or which processes feel unnecessary or complicated or slow? Where do delays cost you money or even customers? What would it be worth to fix this problem for you right now? When they do mention these pain points, you have to be digging deeper. So asking questions like, okay, well, how much time does that typically take you? Have you tried any solutions for this? Here's a real example. I was talking to a property management company recently and asked these exact same questions. And they revealed that their bottleneck was tenant screening and taking about 40 hours every single week, and qualified applicants were accepting other properties while they processed paperwork. And that delay, it was costing them thousands of dollars in lost rent. Now, what we did for them was we built an automated tenant screening system that just reduced processing time from 2 days to 2 hours, and it increased occupancy rates by 15%. Now, they didn't care about the AI system behind it or what it looked like. They only cared about the extra $50K in annual revenue. And this is the difference between selling AI and actually solving problems for them. Once you have found a bottleneck, you need to be determining what type of automation will be creating the most value for you. There are 3 different approaches that consistently work, at least from my experience, and I'm going to be showing you all 3 with real examples. So pillar number 1 is revenue generation automation. Now, these are systems that directly bring in more money. So the perfect example for this is an AI receptionist system that we are currently scaling right now. Now, this system, it handles outbound calls to all incoming leads and reaches out to them through Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, SMS, email, or even website chat. So it's going to qualify the leads by asking the right questions. It's going to nurture them as well with personalized follow-ups, and even books qualified prospects directly into appointments. Now, one coaching business that we just built this for last week went from 12 to 31% conversion rates almost instantly because they were only talking to pre-qualified interested prospects. So let's get into prospect. Now let's get into pillar number 2, cost reduction automation. So these systems, they also eliminate expensive manual processes or reduce any overhead. So to give you an example, an accounting firm was spending about $8,000 per month on a virtual assistant to handle client onboarding. Now, what we did for them was we automated their entire intake process, document collection, and initial client setup. Now, from this, they saved the entire VA cost while improving their client experience. Pillar number 3 is risk management automation. So these systems, they prevent costly mistakes or ensure compliance. To give you another example, a medical practice was struggling with missed appointments and last-minute cancellations. So what we did for them was build an automated reminder system with intelligent rescheduling that just reduced no-shows by over 50% for them. Now, each missed appointment, I do want to mention, it was costing them about $200 in lost revenue. So here's the key insight. You're not selling automation, you're selling revenue growth for them, cost savings, or even risk reduction. And the automation, it's literally just a vehicle. So when I pitched that coaching business in particular, I didn't just say like, we'll build you an AI lead qualification system. Instead, what I was saying for them is, we will help you stop wasting time on unqualified prospects so that you can focus on closing deals that are actually going to matter. All right, so now that you know what's to be building, let's talk about how to sell it. Now, here is the positioning framework that has helped me close over $2 million in automation deals. First is we want to lead with the problem, not the solution. So you need to be thinking about painkillers. As no one is searching for acetaminophen when they have a headache. They instead just search for headache relief. Now, your prospects, they're not looking for AI automation. They're looking for solutions to their specific business problems. And here's my exact positioning formula where we go about this as well. So we could say we help target market achieve a specific outcome with insert your current pain point so that they can achieve a bigger, this is where you're inserting bigger goal. So for example, if we were to put all of this together, we're going to say something like, we help property management companies fill vacant units 50% faster without manual tenant screening so that they can maximize rental income and scale their portfolio. So you see the difference? There's no mention of AI, no mention of automation or any of the tools. Instead, just outcomes that they care about. Secondly, is use their language, not yours. So if they call it lead follow-up, don't call it nurture sequences. And if they're talking about closing deals faster, don't just say sales cycle optimization. So you want to be mirroring their exact words. Third is to quantify everything. So instead of like, we'll make you more efficient, instead you can be saying, we will save you 20 hours per week. Instead of saying better customer experience, what you can say instead is reduce response time from 4 hours to 4 minutes. Now, getting into number 4 is to make it about them, not yourself. So what you do not want to do is be saying something like, our AI platform uses advanced machine learning. Now, a better way of saying this is, you will never have to manually qualify leads again. To my final point is to create urgency around the problem, not your solution. So every day that you delay, you're losing qualified prospects to competitors who are responding faster. And when you use this approach, this is going to work because you're speaking their language about problems that they already know that they have. So you're not asking them to understand AI, and instead you're offering to solve their biggest headaches for them. Okay, moving into the next section. Here is the discovery framework that I use on almost every sales call to uncover exactly what to build and how to position it. And it's going to sound corny, but I call it the PAIN method. So stick with me, where P is going to be representing process mapping. Can you walk me through your lead generation process, your lead qualification process? What is their main activity? If you're speaking with an SDR, okay, well, it's probably going to be messaging people, sourcing leads, whatever it may be. Now let's get into the next one, which is going to be aggravation points. So where in that process do things typically go wrong or take longer than expected for you? I, which is impact quantification. So this is where you're going to be asking things like, okay, well, when that happens for you, what does it cost you in terms of time, money, or in opportunities? N, this is next steps prioritization. So what I usually like to say is that if you can imagine anything and fix one part of your process, whatever it may be, in an ideal world, what would have the biggest impact for you? What would you automate? What would you have done? So let me just show you this in action. I was talking to an event planning company recently, and here's how the conversation went pretty roughly. I basically just said, walk me through your process for planning a corporate event. And what they said to me was, well, first we have a discovery call with the client, then we create a proposal, and then we just source our vendors, coordinate logistics, and manage RSVPs. And what I returned with was, okay, well, where in that process do things typically go wrong? And they said something like, honestly, vendor coordination is a nightmare. We're constantly emailing back and forth. We're chasing quotes, trying to match availability. So to which I came back to them and said, well, when vendor coordination goes poorly, what does that cost you? To which they would say, well, last month we had to scramble to find a last minute caterer because our original vendor had double booked. So it cost us an extra $3,000 and almost lost us the client. Now, what I said to them back was pretty much to wrap things up, where I was saying, if you could just fix one thing about your vendor management, what would make the biggest difference for you? And what they came back with was, well, if I could automatically track our vendor availability, if we could get quotes faster and have backup options ready, that would be a game changer for us. So you notice what is happening there. They told me exactly what to build and how to even position it. And by the end of that call, they weren't buying automation. They were buying protection against costly vendor disasters. And this discovery process, it works because you're not pitching any solutions. You're helping them discover what they actually need the most. Now let's talk about how to actually be pricing these solutions, because this is where most people leave money on the table. Now, you never want to price based on hours or based on complexity. You always want to price based on value delivered. So here is my pricing framework. First, calculate their current cost. So in the property management example, slow tenant screening, it was costing them about 40 hours per week at maybe $25 an hour. So this would come out to $1,000 weekly plus lost rent from delays, another $2,000 weekly. So the total cost is about $12,000 per month. Second, you can quantify your solution's value. So our automation, it saved them about 35 hours per week, and it reduced vacancy time by about 50%. The value here is over $10,000 in monthly savings plus $25,000 in additional revenue. Third, we can look to price at 10 to 20% of the annual value of everything. So if we are delivering $120,000 in annual value through savings and increased revenue, we can charge $15,000 to $25,000 for this project. And here's how I package it. So what I say is, based on what you have told me, slow tenant screening is costing you approximately $12,000 per month in lost revenue and time. So our automated system instead will eliminate 90% of that cost starting next month. So the investment for this entire system, it's going to be $18,000 for you, which pays for itself in 6 weeks. After that, it's just pure profit. So you see how I'm not talking about hours to build or technical complexity. I'm literally just talking about their ROI. And this approach, it allows you to charge premium prices because you are instead positioning yourself as a profit center, not a cost center. And the client, they don't care if it takes you 20 hours or 200 hours to build. They care about getting their $12,000 in monthly problems solved. Now, before I move on to the next section, I just want to mention something that we have a mentorship program where we teach you all of this. We essentially are hand-holding you through every one of these steps and ensuring that you grow a successful AI business, just like we have done for our other students who have worked with us. Now, we only work with 4 to 5 people at a time, and we're naturally just selective with who we bring on because we want to guarantee the results. So if you are interested, and again, we completely handhold you, we work one-on-one with you, so it's very intimate, and you basically have a complete guarantee to getting to minimum 10K per month, so long as you are putting in the work. Now, if you're interested, I'll include a link down below to apply. That said, I do want you to know that you do not need this program to be successful. Everything that I am sharing and have shared today, it works, and many people implement it on their own. The mentorship, though, it is just designed to help you get there faster with certainty of growing your own business to a minimum of $10,000 per month, but it's not required for success. I do want to preface that, but in any case, let's get back to the video. Now, moving on, let me address one of the most common objections that you will face and how to actually handle them like a pro. But first, here's the key. You need to be amplifying their pain points. So you need to make them feel the real cost of doing nothing, of not taking action. So the first objection here is, this sounds expensive. Well, if they say this, you can reply with, well, I completely understand that, but let me ask you something. What is it costing you to not solve this problem? So you just told me that you were losing about $12,000 every single month to this issue. Now, this solution, it pays for itself in 6 weeks, and then it saves you money forever. Now, what's truly expensive is continuing to bleed money while your competitors are going to be getting ahead. So can you really afford to wait another 6 months? Objection number 2 is, we are not ready for AI. To which you can respond with, well, I totally get that. And honestly, that's exactly what your competitors are saying right now while they fall behind. So you do not need to understand AI to benefit from it. Just like you do not need to understand how your smartphone works to make calls. And while you're waiting to be ready, your competitors are capturing the leads that you are missing because they respond in minutes, not hours. Objection number 3 is, what if it doesn't work? Well, you could reply with, that's a fair concern, but here's what I know. The cost of this problem is guaranteed. You're definitely losing about $12,000 per month right now, but here is what we will do. We will start with a pilot program. So we'll start with proving the results and then rolling it out. We could start very small. So if it doesn't deliver the promised savings within 30 to 60 days, whatever you guys agree upon, we will refund your investment. Now, the real risk is doing nothing while the problem gets worse. Objection number 4 is, we need to think about it. This is going to be one of the most common things that you're ever going to experience. It's very frustrating, but here's what you can respond with. You can say something like, well, absolutely. And I respect that. I would do the same thing, but let me ask you, while you're thinking about it, how much more money will you lose in this process? And the time that it takes you to think about it, you could have already solved the problem and started seeing results. Now, what specific concerns can we address right now so that we can move forward with confidence? So the key here is to never argue with objections. And instead, you need to be redirecting the cost of inaction and create urgency around their pain. All right, now here is how to structure your delivery to ensure client success and generate referrals, because that is one of the most important pieces that we're going to be getting from a successful client delivery. So phase one, this is going to be discovery and mapping. So this is week one, obviously. This is where you're going to be mapping their exact current processes, where you're going to be identifying all the stakeholders, documenting the current costs and all the timelines. Now, you do not want to skip this step. It's very important not to. So the better that you actually understand their current state, the more impressive that your solution will actually be turning out. Now, phase two is going to be system design and approval. So about week two to week three, this is going to be creating a detailed workflow diagram, where you're going to be getting stakeholder buy-in, setting clear success metrics. So this is going to prevent scope creep and ensure that everybody is going to be aligned with one another, and making sure that you have a mutual understanding of what needs to happen, when it needs to happen, all that sorts of stuff. Phase three is building and testing. So this is going to span anywhere from about weeks 3 to weeks 4 and 5. So this is where you're going to be building the automation in a staging environment. So first, you want to test with sample data. You want to train their team on the new process. So I just want to iterate, never go live without thorough testing. You must spend testing on maybe a week to 2 weeks, depending on what you're actually building. Sometimes it could take a month to do testing, proper, thorough testing. Sometimes you have to jump on 5 different calls with the clients. I just can't stress enough, you have to go through thorough testing. In any case, let's move on to the next 4, which is going to be launching and optimizing. So anywhere from weeks 5 to week 7 and beyond. This is where you're going to be deploying to production, monitoring the results very closely, and making adjustments based on any real usage. So this is where you're going to be proving the value that you have promised and making sure that you can actually deliver. Now, any phases beyond here. So phase 5 is going to be results review and expansion. So from week 6 to beyond, where you're going to be documenting the results, comparing this to the baseline metrics, and how you can actually see some insights. And this is where you can create the testimonials. So where you can see, okay, well, you used to generate 30 leads per month. Now you're generating 70. And of course, you can make different analytical insights from there, but ultimately you want to identify additional automation opportunities as well once you have identified those baseline metrics. So most of the time, from our experience, people have said, well, if you could build this out, and now that we have this system built already, what if we can do this? Or what if we can do that? So the doors just fly open, and there's so much room for opportunity once you get your foot in that door, which is arguably the hardest part. So this is going to be your pathway to any additional projects. But here's the key. You need to be positioning yourself as a strategic partner, not just a simple vendor. So you need to schedule monthly check-ins and provide ongoing optimization, and always be looking for the next bottleneck to solve for them. So the goal is not just to deliver a project, but instead it's going to be to become their go-to automation partner. And one thing that we often tell our clients that we're actively working with is we're essentially becoming an extension of your team. We are genuinely interested in your success. If you guys win, we are directly winning as well. So that's how we kind of relate to get going on the next project, and that we really start off with something small to determine if we enjoy working together. Let me just summarize the entire framework for you. So first up, stop selling AI automation and start selling business outcomes. Now, your prospects, they do not give a damn about your tools. 2 is to map the business value chain. So you need to understand their current and complete process from customer acquisitions to retention. Number 3 is the revenue bottleneck. So look for areas where they are losing money, where they are wasting time or missing opportunities. Leading me to number 4 is to position based on outcomes. So you need to be leading with the problem and the value, not the solution and the features. So you need to be using the pain discovery method. So let them tell you exactly what to build and how to sell it. Number 6 is to price on value delivered. So you need to be charging based on return on investment, not hours or complexity. And if you implement this framework, you'll never struggle to sell automation services again. So don't stop chasing prospects and start instead attracting clients who are eager to work with you. Now, again, if you are looking for something that's going to be more hands-on and really giving you some assurance to getting to that next step from A to Z, getting your agency from at least $10,000 on monthly recurring revenue, then check out the link down below in the description. Again, we only have a few slots left because we work, directly one-on-one with you. So if you are interested in growing your own AI agency, then check out the link down below in the description, apply to see if it's a fit. But in any case, I really hope you guys found some real value within this video. I tried to input as much as we have learned, but of course, if you have any other things that you would like us to include within the next videos, then drop a comment, let me know. Please like and subscribe. It really helps on the channel. But in any case, hope you found some value, and I'll see you guys in the next video.